Hi, welcome to AllBrands After Hours with me, your host, Courtney Douthat. Welcome to the show. We hang out and craft together. Today we'll be going over essentials that I think every ScanNCut beginner, and if you're just a ScanNCut user, needs. Let's do this. Now, as a beginner with ScanNCut, what I always recommend is when you go home, I want you to take the box that your ScanNCut comes in. I want you to unbox it, look at everything that you have. I want you to turn the machine on. I want you to click around in the machine. There are so many built-in designs, fonts and appliques. There's so much quilt blocks built into this machine that you could do. Yes, she is a ScanNCut, so we could scan anything in. However, there is so much in there. So I always say, just go ahead and click around. That way you're not overwhelmed by the machine. Just play with it. All ScanNCuts, or all that I've seen, come with a beginner project. So as soon as you open that box, there is most of them, like the 325, 330, come with a piece of cardstock and a booklet that tells you how to make a cute little box. Brother does that because they want you to finish a project. They want you to have that endorphin boost, that you've finished something, you've completed something straight out of the box, which I love that they do that. I like to give them trouble, but that is actually something that I really enjoy that they do. So once you do that, we're gonna look at your tools. Depending on what ScanNCut you got, depends on what tools that came with it. So depending on the mats, the blades, different things like that, because different ScanNCuts come with different blades and mats. The first essential I want to go over is making sure that you have the right blades for the projects that you're wanting to do. If you have an SDX machine, that means that you have auto blades, which of course, and I'll put a big picture of it right here, but it means that your blades have no numbers. The previous CM models had numbers right there, so you'd have to set your blade settings, set your pressure setting to get the machine to work. Not with SDX. SDX means auto blade. So now the blades will automatically sense how deep that material is and only cut through that material. So not so much cutting through your mats and damaging your blades, which is wonderful. So all ScanNCuts come with the different blades. This one that I have right here is the SDX 325. The 325 came with, there she is, your black auto blade and then your tan fabric blade. So brother got smart. They did fabric scissors, everything else. Fabric scissors, everything else. She also came with, there we go, the drawing tools, which are right here. So we've actually done a video completely unboxing this machine, going through every single piece. So I'm not going to go through it now, but if you do want to watch me unbox one of these machines, we do have a video where I do that. So if I know, well, I'm going to do a lot of paper projects and I'm not really doing a ton of vinyl, not really doing a ton of fabric, well then my black auto blade is going to do me just fine for paper. But if I think, okay, I want to do some thin cotton material, just regular quilter's cotton material, well then my fabric blade is going to do me just fine. Now, one of my favorites, and I don't know where mine ran off to, is the rotary blade, which is the new blade. And I'll put it right here. Ta-da! So, I love that blade. When would I use this blade? Well, honestly, I use her quite a lot because she is so good at cutting out trickier materials. If you watched the show before, you know that brother made her to cut out silks and chiffons. I can't tell you the last time I cut a silk or a chiffon. But what I personally use her for is whenever I'm doing a material like felt or wool or batting, because I love cutting batting on my ScanNCut to make bowl koozies. I love it. So with saying that, the different blades, if I'm not doing a ton of fabric, so say you got your machine and you're not going to do a ton of fabric, well then the rotary blade and the fabric blade don't make any sense for you. But if you know, hey, I am going to be cutting out a ton of fabric, well then the rotary blade's something to look into. Now the SDX 330, which is the Disney model, it already comes with that rotary blade. It comes with the rotary blade and this black auto blade. So that if you have that machine, then you have the rotary blade, but you can of course get it separately in a kit alone. And this is what the kit looks like. Thank you, editing Courtney. Now, there is a blue vinyl blade, and that one is made for vinyl. So again, if you're not going to do a ton of vinyl, well then that kit makes no sense for you. But if you are going to do a ton of vinyl, that kit will be great. However, your black auto blade can do it. So if you're just starting out, yes, the kits are really, really fun, but these can get you through for now. But if you're gonna really get into that later on, then the kits are great to look into. especially that rotary blade kit. I love the rotary blade kit. So we've gone over blades. Let's go over the next essential, which is mat. Now, just like the blades, it depends on what model you have, is what mats come in there. Most of them now come with at least the purple standard mat. And again, thank you, editing Courtney. They at least come with the purple standard mat, which will allow you to do so many wonderful things. However, like the 325, there is a fabric mat that is also available and will sometimes come in the box. Again, depends on what model you have. So I know the 325 and the 330 come with these two mats. I love the fabric mat because, again, I don't see it as just a fabric mat. Yes, it's called the fabric mat, but what it actually is my most sticky mat. So in my head, I've got the medium standard and then the very, very sticky fabric mat. Now, there are two other mats that are wonderful, which are the blue low-tack mat, which I mostly use for paper and also when I'm doing pressure-sensitive vinyl because it has a paper backing on it. So I don't want to put paper to a standard or a fabric mat because it's going to rip it to shreds. So that blue low-tack mat is wonderful. As far as I know, the blue low-tack mat does not come with any current models. Usually it's at least the standard and the fabric. So that mat's really great. So if I'm sitting there going, oh, well, I really want to do paper crafts and I really want to do pressure sensitive vinyl, then that blue low-tack mat's going to be really, really great. So that is something that I would think from the beginning, if you are starting out and you know that you're going to do a lot of those items, then the blue low-tack mat is something to look into. If you're not going to do much paper, well, then that mat doesn't make sense for you. Now, the next mat is the scanning mat. This is a mat that I always recommend. Why is that? Because the ScanNCut is wonderful. And yes, you can scan on the low-tack mat, you can scan on the fabric mat, and the standard mat. Those all can be scanned in. But if I'm taking something that I printed off online, it's on regular computer paper. Am I going to put that to a standard or a fabric? Absolutely not. What I'm going to do is put it on a low-tack mat or put it in my scanning mat. The scanning mat is not sticky at all. It just has a little flap that opens up to allows you to slide in whatever you want to scan it in. I really like that because if I don't have to waste any of my sticky on my mat, well, I'm going to do that. And it's just so easy to pop it in there, scan it in. So I really enjoy that. Now, the ones that come with your machine, so the standard or fabric for like a 325, those are 12 by 12. So 12 inches by 12 inches. There are 12 inches by 24 inches, which are double in the length. Those never come with the machine, but those are available separately in the scanning, low-tack, and standard. Brother, why is it not available in 12 by 24? We don't know. I wish they would come out with that. So those three mats are available in 12 by 24 if you want that. That's for to do larger designs. I mostly use it to do batch work. So say my sister calls me up, she wants me to do little Halloween bags for my niece's class. Great. And then I find out that it's all of the second grade. Every single one of them, guys. Every single one of them. I'm going to use my 12 by 24 mat and I'm going to list their names all down my 12 by 24 mat instead of doing it individually on 12 by 12 because that would take a little bit longer. If I could just put a giant piece of vinyl roll on that 12 by 24 mat, I could be knocking them out so much quicker. So love a 12 by 24, but again, essentials, it depends on what you're going to do. So I would at least say if you are starting out, and you know you're gonna do paper, low tack. Do I think it's necessary to get the 12 by 24 when you're just starting out? No, unless you know that you're gonna do a large design. So scanning, same thing. The scanning mat's great. I do love a 12 by 12 scanning mat. If I know I'm going to be scanning in large designs, yes. But if not, a 12 by 12 is gonna do just fine to start out. And then of course you can build on later on once you really get a grip of what you're going to do on your machine. Then buy the things that tailor to you. I know a lot of people, when they first buy their machines and they see me in person, especially at like Houston Cool Festival, they're like, okay, Courtney, what do I need? And I look and I'm like, what are you going to do? What do you like to do? What is one of the projects that you're so excited to do? Because you know when you see a ScanNCut, you start spinning in your mind, oh, I could do this. Ooh, this would be fun. This would be fun. What are those things? Because those are the things that you're excited about that you're going to do. So we'll get the items for that. A lot of it comes in the box already, but if there are additional little things, again, like the low-tack mat that's not going to be in the box, well, then we'll go from there. So knowing what you're wanting to do is going to be super helpful for you to pick out those individual items that will work best for you. Alrighty, so we've gone over blades, we've gone over mats. Courtney, what's the next thing? Our other tools that I actually really like. So in your machine, you'll always get, of course, the stylus. The stylus is great, but is it super, super necessary? No, your finger works great. But it is available already in the box, which is lovely. So you get the plastic spatula. Love the plastic spatula because it has that foamy bit to help you change out your blades. But there are, of course, kits separately, and I'll pop them right here. So if I'm doing a ton of vinyl, and I know I'm going to be doing a lot of vinyl, I actually do like this little spatula and picker tool set. Do I know where my picker is? No, I can't find it, but I have my spatula here. She is metal. She's a little bit thinner than the plastic one to help you get under things. Very, very great. I really like these, especially the picker tool, because if I'm doing a ton of vinyl, it's easier to help pick out the parts that I don't want to leave the parts that I do want. And instead of trying to get it with my finger and it's hard to see, this just picks it away. So I really enjoy that set. So that is something I do actually recommend, as well as everyone that watches the shows knows I love this thing. This is called the brayer tool. The brayer tool is like a little steamroller that helps you stick things down to your mat. When you're first starting out, your mats are brand new, they're beautiful and they're sticky. However, they do get dirty pretty fast. So once you start losing that stick, the brayer tool is really great to help it really adhere onto that mat. Plus, it's just fun. So I really, really do actually enjoy the brayer tool. Well, Courtney, I needed a brayer to help it stick down to the mat. Well, yeah, when it gets dirty. But also when it gets dirty, there is a product that I love called Totally Awesome. No, I don't know where my bottle is. So Totally Awesome is not affiliated with us. There's nothing that we do. We don't even actually sell it as of right now. You go to the Dollar Tree or wherever you can buy Totally Awesome products. It's a cleaner. So it's not made for ScanNCut. However, it's wonderful. And we've done it a few times on the show where we showed how we cleaned our mat. Cleaning your mat and keeping them nice will keep them lasting longer. So just from the get-go, I usually always recommend someone to get Totally Awesome. Do not dilute it. Do not do 50-50 ratio. I want full strength. We're going to spray our mat down. We're going to scrape it around. You can even use your spatula tool. Scrape it around and then wipe it down with a clean paper towel. It's going to not be sticky, which is terrifying. But then all that sticky comes back. Please leave that protective cover off of that mat because if not, that's going to be a nightmare. So leave it off, let it bring back all that sticky, and it's gonna make your mats last a lot longer. Because I know that's something that I hear all the time is, Courtney, my mat's no longer sticky. Courtney, what do I do with my mat? Clean it. Clean it, clean it, clean it. Will it make it last sticky forever? No. I mean, sooner or later, it's going to lose sticky, but will it make it last so much longer? Absolutely. So highly, highly recommend to get Totally Awesome to make your mats last longer. The next essential tool that I always recommend is, of course, Brother Canvas. Courtney, why do you recommend Brother Canvas? Because Brother Canvas is a free software that Brother gives you with your machine. Now, Brother Canvas is this screen but bigger. So yes, you can edit on there. Do you have to? No. So Courtney, why is it an essential? Because you need to register your machine on Brother Canvas. So if something happens to your machine, you have documentation, which is wonderful. But also, when you do go buy all the kits and stuff like that later on, well then that's actually where you go to register them. So Brother Canvas is just great. So go ahead, sign up, get your username. It is wonderful. Now, along with Brother Canvas, I always recommend Artspira. Artspira, you can actually use the same login. So log in with your Brother Canvas account through Artspira. It is free, however, there is a subscription that is available if you want it. You do not have to get it to use Artspira. It just has additional features and designs. So whenever you go into Artspira, there are free into the mic, free cutting designs and a bunch of other wonderful things in Artspira. So I always recommend Artspira because free is wonderful. Yes, Brother Canvas also has free designs. However, they're no longer updating it in Brother Canvas. They are updating in Artspira. So I always recommend both. Might as well get both free apps. Yes, like I said, there is a subscription with Artspira that unlocks even more stuff, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It is available if you want, but just starting out, I always recommend get both accounts, go ahead, sign them up, get some free designs. Like, yes, there's so much built in. Yes, you could bring a lot in, but everyone loves a free design. Also, it's so easy to go ahead and put it to your account. Now, another thing about Canvas that I didn't say, and I'm glad I just remembered, if you have an SDX 325, 225, 325, 330, you have Wi-Fi. So you want to go into your Brother Canvas account to go ahead and activate that Wi-Fi, because it's a feature that you already have. Make sure you're activating it so you can use it. Courtney, why would I want to do Wi-Fi? Why is that important to set up? Well, because then you can send designs from your computer straight to your machine, or depending on what machine you have, you can send it from the machine to the computer. So if you wanted to cut out your appliques, you could just send directly to the ScanNCut to do that. There's no having to put it on a USB. Yes, she does have a USB port on the side if you want to do that, but you could just send it wirelessly. How easy is that? So always recommend setting up your Wi-Fi on Brother Canvas, and then also that's how you use ArtSpirit. So ArtSpirit is through the cloud, and you just send it straight to the machine. So make sure you sign up for both of those accounts. They're free, and free is awesome. The last thing I always recommend for an essential tool is, of course, our YouTube channel. If this is your first video with me, hello, my name is Courtney. We do a show called AllBrands After Hours, where we do a lot of ScanNCut, a lot of print moda, a lot of shenanigans. It's fun. We have a great time, and our community is a wonderful, beautiful place. If you look down in the comments, there are always wonderful people with great questions, and they're answering each other's questions. I love when I see you guys communicating in the comments. It's just a wonderful thing. So if you haven't subscribed already, I always recommend to subscribe, because we like to do videos on helpful tips and tricks, and of course project videos where I'm making stuff and we're having a blast. So if you haven't subscribed yet, always recommend it. That way you get an essential tool, which is free education. Free education is never a bad thing. So free education to how to use your ScanNCut and how to get the most out of your ScanNCut. Now, at the time of this video, I will be at Houston Quilt Festival having a blast. So if you're at Houston Quilt Festival and we got to see each other, hello, I'm so glad to have met you. It's such a great time. And guys, leave your tips and tricks and essential tools that you recommend for a beginner or for anyone at all down in the comments below, because it is a wonderful community we've built. All right, guys, don't forget that the Brother ScanNCut is available on our website, allbrands.com. We are family owned and operated since 1976, and we truly appreciate when you guys purchase with us. Thank you again. And of course, when you purchase through us, you're not only supporting a small business, you're also helping us continue this education. So thank you. All right, guys, I hope you had a good time tonight. I hope some beginners got some good tips and tricks. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because it's the easiest way to let us know that you want more of these videos. Y'all have a good night. Bye.